ya, come on, let them say ya. That in my business, you catching fever. Getting serious like empty river. Ain't no stopping by the river. And as we coming, we sweeping, we cutting, we moving all the way. Yeah. We coming, yeah. We better start be coming. As we coming, we sweeping, we coming. And then when we meet obstacles, we better start be coming. Yeah, you are coming, yeah. We coming. We better start be coming. When the year is been checking you again, cause you go a we coming. We better start be coming. We coming. We better start. Come on, let them say ya. Come on, let them say ya. That in my business, you catching fever. Getting serious like empty river. Ain't no stopping by the river. And as we coming, we sweeping, we cutting, we moving all the way. Yeah. We coming, yeah. We better start be coming. As we coming, we sweeping, we coming. And then when we meet obstacles, we better start be coming. Yeah, you are coming, yeah. We coming. We better start be coming. When the year is been checking you again, cause you go a we coming. We better start be coming. We coming. We better start.
Well, let me say welcome to Bottomland. This is the Friday's edition of the program, and on today's edition, we're going to have very, very interesting discussions. But let me say welcome to you if you're watching from anywhere in the world. I want to say welcome and be my guest. My name is Linford Goy. I'm going to be here to take you through my other partners or colleagues are not available. And so welcome to the Bottom Line, and we'll be back right after this musical interlude, and we'll continue our discussions right here on the Bottom Line. Be with us, share the video, and let your voices be.
My people, where you at? Where you at? Wake up from your slumber, stop sleeping. Whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your. Come on, come on, come on. I know you're sleeping now. Y'all gotta wake up some more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people who us, the people lie to us, the government betray us, they betray us so much. I said they lie. The people who us, the people lie to us, the government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will knock the ball. I said we tired with their lies, we tired with their promises that led us to all our damages. We tired with their speech they preach indeed, and now unique they deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrates us. So why can't you lie? Why can't you steal? Why can't you allow the citizens to be? You see, we just tell you that's why we voted you. But you fool us, you screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They The people fool us, so the people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they go knock the corrupt. No one to trust. My people no one to hope on. Nobody. My hope that I have been broken. I'm telling you, brother. So where are the schools? Where are the roads? Where are the jobs that they say they could afford? But they too selfish. The people tired with their rhetoric. People tired, they tired. You see the reason why we ask why the government betray. They have enough of time, but yeah, then instead they delay. People suffer. No work for people crying for hunger. Look at. Your vision and your mission, your intention to the nation, they poor. You got nothing to show. Nothing. So, why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. They lie. The people fool us, so the people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they go knock the corrupt. We tired with the promises that let us do all our damages. We tired with that speech they preach indeed, and now unique they deceive us. The thing we saw it frustrate us. So why can you lie? Why can you steal? Why can you allow the citizens to be? You see, we just tell you that why we vote tell you. But you fool us. You screw us, you use us and little on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. I said they lie.
They can lie, they can steal, they corrupt, just about everything they are. And so let me say welcome to you. This is the bottom line Liberia. We discuss the issue from the top to the bottom, and we give our analysis and our opinions. Our opinions may not be right, they are not wrong either. And so let me say welcome to you. My name is Linford Goa, and I will be on a solo mode tonight. The rest of my colleagues are kind of engaged, and some have traveled. And so we know this is the campaign time, not campaign time, but the electoral registration process time. And so a lot of people are traveling to register, and others are doing some other things. So, but it's going to be a great discussion here tonight. We'll be looking at basically two things, and if time permits, I will be taking you into some other topics. But let me just introduce to you what we will be talking about tonight. Recently, the CPP took the neck to court, and that case to the Supreme Court, not just at any court, but the Supreme Court. And that case is yet to be adjudicated. So yesterday, the CPP officially called on the government of Liberia, that is through the Supreme Court, to speedily adjudicate or look into that case, because this is very interesting, and it has to do with alleged violation of some of the electoral laws of Liberia, and we will be looking at those. And let's also bring to your attention that we'll be looking at something that is very interesting. Recently there have been rumors of Mr. Henry Costa being the VP pick for former Vice President Joe Boakai, And you know, when the rumor broke out, and you know, Liberia is one good thing we know, to spread rumors, whether it's true or not, but we're very good at spreading it. And again, in the absence of facts, you don't blame anybody for spreading rumors. So that rumor has sparked, you know, mixed feelings, should I say, amongst some members of the Unity Party and also the personal or private supporters of Mr. Costa, and we'll be bringing you details. But let's start with our CPP case, and just before we go into that, I would like to ask you to please share the video. If you're joining us for the first time, please share the video and invite your friends to join us to discuss the issue. And like I said, I'll be here on a solo train tonight. The rest of my colleagues are all busy doing something. And so this Friday's edition is going to be more or less conversational. I'm going to be talking to you and just my own analysis about how I feel about the issues and, you know, stuff like that. So it's going to be mostly my opinions. It's going to be mostly my views on the issue. And I will not have a counter issue, you know, like a counter view like we usually do here. Sometimes we don't agree. My colleagues will have different views and I will have different views. But no matter how it is, we proceed. Like I told you, our first thing on the docket this evening for discussion is the lawsuit against the NEC by the collaborating political parties, as the CPP, on grounds that some of the electoral laws of Liberia are being allegedly violated. And violation in that sense means that there are things that are happening that if care is not taken, it could drag the whole electoral process into chaos. And in fact, it may cause constitutional problems. And I think the best time to address some of these issues is the onset, you know, because when you tackle the problems from the onset, then you can have kind of control. But you don't wait until damage is done and then you want to cure it, or you want to repair the damage. And that, I think, is very tedious to do. Let's take, for example, if you were to carry a cow, I mean COW, cow, from one point to another. You know, cow is very heavy, cow is very big and very strong, and this cow is very clean. You can hold it, you can hold it with your hand, and even try to drag it and carry it, and you didn't do it from the onset when this cow was clean, and you allow the cow to let free time and say caca all on itself. And you know the cow is very heavy, so it's going to be difficult to even touch it, to at least talk about dragging it. So, you know, you leave it clean and start to carry it small, whether it's heavy or not, at least it is still clean. You can hold it, you can hold the tail, the hind leg or the back leg. But if you let it do caca, it will be difficult. So I'm just saying that it is prudent to attack the issue from the onset so that you will not allow it to go out of hand. You know, like we say in Liberia, you leave it, you let the problem get big before you start solving it. No, it's not good. So the CPP has noticed some irregularities, okay, and they want to address that situation. And the only way to do that is through the Supreme Court of Liberia, which has that power to look into electoral confusions, so to speak. And so, yesterday, Mr. Louis Brown, who is a member of the team committee, in fact, the head of team committee, held a press conference, and I'm sorry that we cannot bring you that video because my technical man is not here, Paul the Lord Chilukle. And so, Mr. Brown highlighted some of the issues, and he specifically mentioned Article 80 of the Liberian Constitution, okay, that refers to matters of constituencies, how constituencies should be demarcated, and what constitutes a constituency, and how people are supposed to register. So if you had the opportunity to listen to that press conference, I don't think I need to educate you further. But that was the main issue that was raised in that press conference yesterday. And I'm trying to see if I can lay my hands on a release from that press conference. And as soon as I do, I'll be bringing you the part that I want us to discuss. Okay. Now, I will just read some things. It says the collaborating political parties as the CPP have made a passionate plea for Liberia's Supreme Court to attach urgency to the adjudication of alleged constitutional breaches resulting from the process leading to the October 10th general and presidential elections. This urgent call is being made to avert society descending into chaos and major conflict from problems due to the National Elections Commission (NEC) not complying with the Constitution of Liberia, that is. Ambassador Louis Brown, head of Team Cummins, said the court must act independently and with courage to timely and expeditiously address conflict-prone elections-related matters brought before it in order to safeguard the country's peace and protect its democracy. Mr. Brown made the plea on Thursday, March 23, that was yesterday, following a petition filed last week by the CPP. The CPP petition questioned the constitutionality of the NEC to conduct voters' registration without demarcation of constituencies as provided for by the law. And you see, so this is where the problem is. By law, the NEC does not have that power to begin to register voters when they do not know how many people live in a particular constituency. And then they do not know, when they do not know the particular area that you're going to register people. So the thing is, the first thing you're supposed to know that, okay, in this area, we got 10 people, we got 20 people, we got 100 people. But if you just take your registry and go and begin to write people name down, it's possible. Yeah, we understand that, they want to use biometric system and all these things, which the system which is not even yet tested against all odds. That you go and register John Brown here, and the same John Brown will go to from point A to point B and register with different name. Yes, you say you're doing biometric. We understand, but how effective is this biometric? How have you tested it? In fact, people who have been at the registration centers complain that the process is very slow. The process seems not to be exactly what is being publicized to be, and so there are still questions lingering around the authenticity, the legality, and what can I say? I don't know which other adjective to use of this biometric system, but this, because the thing is, yes, you will do the biometric system, but the biometric system itself is still questionable. Then you got the census result. The census results that came in, people are still questioning it. People are not even satisfied. People are accusing legislation of proportionately, inflecting some of the numbers in certain areas. So then that should be solved in the first place before NEC can go around registering people. Yes, I know, like the last edition of this program, we did discuss this issue. And I also said that, yes, NEC was acting based on its timetable. for the implementation of every aspect of the registry, the voting process. That is, if next year March 20 will begin registration, yeah, that is the calendar of NEC. NEC wants to follow that calendar. It's honest too. That I agree with. But the question is, in the instance where you find out that sorry, that there is still some uncertainties surrounding the entire process, I think it's only feasible for NEC to say, well, you see, we agree, we got our timetable that we're supposed to go by from this date to this date, and then we'll be done with our work, and then the voters will be ready to go to vote. We agree. But if you see problems creeping, problems that will even bring you, NEC, your reputation under the microscope, I think you can make adjustment in that timetable or in that schedule that you have, okay, and say, well, maybe we can delay by 1 day, 2, 3, 4 days. It wouldn't be bad, okay, to avoid problems that will even be greater than you just making 4 days adjustment or one week adjustment to set everything straight. So I think NEC should have seen reason not to proceed as the CPB is alleging. Okay, let's continue. Mr. Brown called on the Supreme Court of Liberia to give attention to the alleged violation of Articles 80, that's Article 80C, D, and E of the Liberian Constitution. I think that's the article that talks about the electoral process. So we'll follow that to see what it says here. Mr. Brown, addressing a news conference, that's Mr. Louis Brown, addressing a news conference, said, after a week of filing of the CPP petition, the court has delayed acknowledgement or served it to the NEC or assigned it to be heard. But unconfirmed reports said that, I'm just paraphrasing this one, unconfirmed reports said that the court has assigned a case for April 4, 2023. But in the meantime, okay, NEC is going to continue with the registration. So you see where the problem lies. The CPP is saying, no, stop this registration process and let's clearly define which constituencies are qualified for people to register in, or maybe some constituencies that were used last election maybe relegated, so to speak, using the football terminology, maybe relegated, meaning taken from one stage to the upper stage to the lower stage. Okay, so wait with the process. That's what the CPP is saying. Okay, and then Mr. Brown. Okay, let's continue. Mr. Brown said, like the NEC, he said the NEC has no agency of government. He said like NEC, no agency of government has any color of rights to ignore any aspect of the Liberian Constitution, noting that to do so is a recipe for danger and disaster. Mr. Brown warned of the fact that elections are problematic and must be held in strict accordance with the Constitution to safeguard the country's democracy and avert society degenerating into full-blown conflict. And like I said before, this is where the problem lies. You can make small adjustment in your timetable. Instead of saying, okay, we got to stick to our timetable no matter what, but look ahead of you, look at the danger. Okay, ask yourself, if you are walking, you're not riding a car, right? And you're walking from Old Road to Cinco, or to Pinsville, and you know you got to go. That you said I will start walking by 10 o'clock. And then all of a sudden, 9:30, you see heavy storm, heavy rain, thunder and storm. But because you have made up your mind to walk from Old Road Joba to Pinsville Joba, at a certain time, you say, well, whether thunder, lightning, heavy rain, heavy wind, I will go. Disregarding the danger that you may be going into. This is why the CPB is warning the neck off. That no, listen, we agree. You already set your timetable. We can stop you. But the thing is, look ahead of you. There may be problems creeping or waiting for you ahead. Because when we as individuals, when we start things, sometimes you will start a very dangerous trip, and you don't know what lies ahead of you. The danger is sitting and waiting. It's not rushing. You go into it, and you may knowingly go into danger or ignorantly go into danger. Because the thing is that, like I said, the danger is there, and the danger is not going to alarm. It's not going to blow any alarm and say, "Don't come to me. I'm here." No, but you will see signs. Like I just gave you that analogy with the thunderstorm and lightning and rain and heavy wind, and you're supposed to walk from Pinsway Joba, or let's say Old Road Joba to Pinsway Joba, and because you set a time, you stay defy everything and say, "I will go, no matter what happens, I will go." And so the danger is there waiting. Lightning could strike you on the way. The heavy breeze could cause flying objects to hit you, and something could happen to you. You don't know that danger that is waiting, but you see the signs that they're in fact, there are dangers, but you don't know what that danger may be. And in most cases, you might even have an idea of the danger. Like in this case, what the CPP say, that in this case, electoral matters are very, very fragile because they concern the entire country. And the entire country, you got more than 5 million people with different mindsets, and all of them come from different political parties, and all of them got different upbringings. All of them got different backgrounds. So the 5 million people may not be thinking like you. They may not be thinking the way you think. So you will have to be careful how you approach issues, because while you may be thinking that you're doing the right thing, you may just be doing the wrong thing for me. Okay? I may not agree with you. And so what will happen? We may not agree, and things will begin to go bad. So the CPP is giving this early warning, and that warning comes through the form of a lawsuit. And the lawsuit is actually to make the neck to know that there lies danger ahead. Okay? So we'll go back to the reading. The way the neck is proceeding, and this is Mr. Brown's quotation, this is in quotation, the way the neck is proceeding with the conduct of the Ottawa 10th general and presidential elections is not only wrong and dangerous, but it puts the country's rule of law, honor, threat, and its democracy at risk, Mr. Brown cautioned. You see, like I was telling you, the danger is there. Neck, the danger is there, but you don't know where that danger is waiting, but it's there. It's somewhere. It could be from the start of now, the whole process, or at the end of the whole process. But you see the sign. You may not know where that danger is sitting and waiting for you, but you know the signs are there. And so it's left with you to take the precaution. Okay? So Mr. Brown warned here that the way the neck is proceeding with the conduct of this Ottawa 10th general and presidential elections is not only wrong and dangerous, but it undermines the rule of law and also poses threat to the democracy of Liberia. So you hear the warning. When the lightning is coming, when the thunderstorm is coming, you hear that distant thunder. So then you should know that there is something dangerous coming to happen. Something dangerous thing coming to happen. So you take precaution. If you were outside in open place, and you heard the lightning, I think it's time for you to take your cover, probably under a shelter, or if you can make it home, you make it home as fast as you can. But you don't walk into that danger knowing that the danger actually exists, but you don't know when it will happen. Okay, so we'll continue reading. Mr. Brown pleaded with justices of the Supreme Court to timely and expeditiously address and dispose of elections-related violations of the law in its infant stages and not wait until it degenerates into conflict before taking action. You see, sorry, I said it before that if you need to take this cow, COW, that is, from point A to point B, and the cow is clean, that you can hold a cow and try to even drag it, let it remain clean, and you carry it. Don't let it dirty itself. So, putting it the shortest way. Don't let the cow dirty itself, and then you can't even hold it. So, at this stage, Mr. Brown for the CPP is saying that the dangers are there, right? But in order to avoid the danger or meeting or us meeting the danger, it's waiting, we know it's there. But in order to avoid us meeting this danger, let us take precautions. Let us do the right thing so that we will not allow ourselves to meet this danger. It's very simple. I think the CPP, I don't want to speak for them, but I think they are speaking the right idea into our minds. Because if anything happens, who suffers? The Liberian people. If anything happens, what happens? The whole process goes amok and things spoil. Then we find ourselves going by degenerating. That's why Mr. Brown is saying here that the justices should take actions to dispose of all of these problems that we're thinking about in its infant stages. That means when they are still young. I got a friend who always made a statement and said, kill them young before they grow. Don't let them get old before you start killing them. So the young one is very easy to kill. So kill them young before they grow. And Facebook I'm using this, it's just an analogy. It's not like to literally say go and kill somebody. No. So we're not instigating violence here in this video. It's just an analogy, like, okay, say you got a leopard that is posing danger, and these leopards or lions or tigers, they are still young. Their risk level is not too high yet, so you can leave them young and begin to kill them. But if you let them grow where they can really harm, it will be difficult to begin to attack them. So that's just the analogy. Okay, so the CPP is saying, let's leave all these problems young and attack them so that we'll not let them grow teeth, grow nails, and become very, very huge. Then we begin to look for a way around. And because we've been there before, Liberia as a country, we fought war for 14 years. We've been there before, and nobody needs to warn you about that. Liberians know violence. We're not telling people to do violence, but Liberians know violence. So when you introduce violence to them, they're not going to run away from it. If you start small violence, they'll begin to make it swell from different angles, from different or by different means. And then you will say, oh, but I didn't really expect this thing to swell into what it is now. So this is why it's very reasonable, very important, very sensible to arrest any situation right now that may cause us confusion in the future. I think this is exactly what the CPP is saying. And like I said, I don't want to speak for them. I'm not speaking for them, but this is exactly what I think they say. Okay, and so we continue. We'll soon do with the reading of that thing. They continue by saying that I'm reading from my phone, so the prints are very small. I got to know where I start from. Okay, Mr. Brown said, with one law compromised, all other laws will be compromised. You see it? So if you say, okay, you know what happened? Yeah, all the laws are there, okay, but I think the other law is small. So let's just jump over it and get to the other side. You can't take shortcut with the law. The law is the law. You cannot take shortcut. So you cannot take one piece of the law out and say, I think it's too small. So let's just move it from there. It's not too dangerous. Move it from there. And let's go to the other one. Because the law lay stage for one piece of law lays the stage for the next one. Okay. So it's like you got step 1 and step 2, step 3, going further. So you can't jump over step 1, 2, 3 and go away to step 10. You have to come back to start from step 1 again. So you waste your time. And in that process, you may even do yourself wrong. Okay. So Mr. Brian is saying that with one law compromised, all other parts of the law will be compromised. Correct the problems when it is still small. I mean, it's like I didn't read this thing before, but it's like I read it, and everything I'm saying is exactly because it's common sense. My friend, you get small soul. You are walking and something scratch you. Instead of you going to wash that soul, that little scratch clean, and maybe pour alcohol and put Band-Aid, what we call plaster in Liberia, the Band-Aid over it, so that flies or dirt and all kinds of things will not go inside and make it big. You leave it so open. Oh man, it's not just small soul, man, so no problem. When you know, pores get inside. Oh, when you know your hands start getting swollen up, and when you know that pores down inside the germ that enter, it begin to eat the flesh, and the soul become big soul. And this for just small soul where you are supposed to get wash it, maybe with chloride. I mean, or not, no, don't wash your soul with chloride. That was a mistake. With alcohol, and then maybe put that small Band-Aid oil and prevent the dirt from going there to make it big. But you sat down and you allow it to get big. Then what will happen to you? You start feeling pain, one. You'll begin to look for money to treat it. Maybe you go to hospital. Your time is wasting. If you are working, you cannot use that hand anymore. So who's the cause? You are the cause, my friend. So it's very, very easy, very simple, very sensible, very logical to lead it so small and treat it. Don't let it get big. I've given you so many analogies. Okay. Now, so Mr. Brian is saying, with one law compromised, other laws will be compromised. Correct these problems when it is small. Anything outside the Constitution spells danger, and all of us will pay the price. It's clear. Simple. Okay. Let's move on. Mr. Brown said he pleaded with Liberians, irrespective of political affiliations, to speak out against critical national issues that have the potential to plunge the nation into chaos, noting that the price will be too heavy. So this one ain't gonna do it any party. You gotta be CPP member to know the problem, to know the danger that lies ahead should anything happen. You see, there are certain things that got no partisan, that got no friend, they ain't got no uncle, brother. They will treat you bad. You see, death ain't a friend. Death can kill, it can take anybody. So you can't say maybe I'm friendly with death, so death will not do nothing to me. No, that's lie. Sickness. You can say, oh, the last time last sickness came and grab me, so me, I'm okay now. Last sickness know me. Last sickness know me. They can't do nothing to me again. They're my friend. That's lie. Hunger. You can say yesterday I was hungry and I ate plenty of food, so tomorrow, forget it. That's lie. You'll be hungry tomorrow. So there are certain things that got no friend, and one of them is danger. Danger got no friend. So let's take, for example, the war that came. Oh, some people used to say, I said, remember, people say, oh, that war not coming for man. I think that war was that way in Nima country, one time over here. War immoral. Things were going on. To the point where when the war hit, things were July 2, 1990. I used to live somewhere around the town hall there. Okay. And I went to work at ELBC. I was at work when the war hit. When we know that the guys were around Omega Tower for the past 2-3 days, they were there and we were hearing the gun sound. But Liberian people being who we are, so man, That's not coming in the time, the way AFN and plug the men. And can you imagine? This is the group that started way to the border. Eh? And took 6 months to enter the city, but we were still doubting it. We say, you know what I mean? Man, they may do not, man. AFN were not fighting their way in that bush, that here, the way they made in that bush. And guess what? At ERBC, the whole of June and July, we had the gate alone, we have more than almost 20 AFN soldiers mounted there with BB guns. So when we used to be passing through there, going in the office, so man, yeah, we are secure. They can't try nothing. We are secure. What? You know? And I was at work. It was on a Monday morning, July 2, 1990. Check it out. I had gone to the office and we're getting ready for our daily routine, packing my things, my microphones and anything. Even though I know that there's nowhere to go, but packing all of my things. And around like 8:30 going to 9 o'clock, that was the exact time. We started to hear the gunfire right at Kingsway Town Hall. Can you imagine? And I was living around there, so I had to running towards the group because I had, my family was soon. I had to go there. So the point I'm trying to make here is that there are certain things that got no friends. Danger is one of them. Hunger is one of them. Sickness is one of them. Death is one of them. Hard time. They ain't got no friend. So you can't say, me by a friend with hard time, hey man, the way hard time know me, sir, you can't do nothing to me. All the way dead know me. The last time my father died, so dead no honor, the whole family. No. There are certain things that you can't take for granted. So the CPP, and Mr. Brown is speaking on behalf of the CPP here, he says, if anything happens, if we play the careless now, and we don't take precautions to look at these small details in the electoral process that will avoid problem in the future, if we don't look at them now, it might be dangerous and the price will be very high for us to pay. And like I said, I made reference to the war. You see, if any dangerous thing happens, nobody can say I'm safe. The poor man, the rich man, we all will be exposed equally to danger. In fact, we the poor people say we're better. The rich people, you'll be more exposed to danger because they know you. Some nobody know. So when they can, they say, "Oh, my man, you pass." The flow used to say during the war time, you come for the door that we know you're looking for. You go for the rear door. I'm not coming to the window. So we pass with Baple. Some of all can hide. But you all the people that your people know. So you take a precaution. It's good to say some of these things raw so that we'll understand it. No sugar coating. When any big problem comes, it will be hard for everybody. So it's better to solve to attack it. I think the CPP is being very sensible here, and they are sending that warning out to all other political party members. You don't need to be CPP member to see the danger ahead of time. If elections, anything happen to the elections, you don't need to be CDC member to see the danger. Or if you see a CDC member, you say, "Oh man, we get a power, nothing happened to all you lie." You all get a power. If anything happened, that you only meet people they're looking for. Me, I let us say my thing raw. People may understand it different way, but try to listen to the sense I'm making. Because we've been there before. We've been there before. The government of President Doe, not everybody will enjoy it, but because they were all crown people, and then they put themselves in harm's way by behaving as if to say all of them were the president, they were behaving that way. So when they walk in, somebody died innocently. I have very good friends who died like that. So you can't be seditious and say, "Oh, you know what I mean? We don't want to get a power, man. So no people that opposition, they are making noise." And then the election goes wrong and something happens, God forbid. God forbid. Anything goes wrong. Whether it's sedition, danger have no friend. I keep repeating myself. Hunger has no friend. Hard time has no friend. Confusion has no friend. You not say confusion know me. I've been hungry before, so hungry than my friend. I've been sick before, sickness than my friend. We all were in library, war for. We can say, "Oh yeah, war know all, man. Oh man, what are you talking so?" We know war, but war know all. When war can, all of us be equally exposed to the danger, the hunger, the running up and down, the death, the sickness, we all will be exposed to it as a result. So this thing is not about partisanship. It's not about who in power, who not in power. It's about the country being safety. I mean, the country's, the safety of the country. That's what I mean to say. It's about the safety of the country being saved for all of us to live in. Okay, so we continue the reading. Mr. Brown said, anything outside of the Constitution spells danger, and all of us will pay a high price. Mr. Brown said, he pleaded with Liberia, irrespective of your political affiliation, that is, which political power you belong to or not, to speak out against critical national issues that have the potential to plunge a nation into chaos, and noting that the price will be too heavy for all of us to pay. When law and order breaks down, it's not easy. When law and order breaks, I mean, as a Liberian, nobody needs to tell you. We were there. We've been there. And we can still see the physical scars on our infrastructure. You can see damaged buildings. You can see people die. You can see mass grave sites. These things are there. It's just not something that we can say, we can sweep under the rug and say, man, forget about that thing, man. No. And you don't know when danger comes. The first thing you need to know, you got to do your risk analysis. You got to know that there is danger, imminent danger. Danger is everywhere. Even the food you cook to eat, your own food that you just cook to eat, danger can be there. That food can strangle you. You can fall down and die. So you got to know the danger is there, and you got to take precautions. Okay, so let's see what he said here again. Then he said Article 80C. So we look at three things under Article 80, C, D, and E. So he said Article 80C states that and now this is where the explanation lies. All of these danger we're talking about, if you invite problem, we'll go to that danger. But you can look at the remedy for this danger. If you do risk analysis, there is something called mitigation. You can mitigate risk. Everybody know that it is risky. Risk is there. But there is something you can do to get rid of the risk. There is something you can do to cut down the risk. If you know, when you walk on the car road, the car will knock you down and kill you. Do not walk on the car road. Stay far away from the road. Because you already know what is the risk right here. The risk is that if you walk on the road, car will knock you down and you die. Or you get crippled. That's the risk. You know it already. So you ask yourself, Sunday risk is here, it's waiting for me. That danger is waiting. What can I do? What can I do? What you can do is do not walk on the road. You are avoiding the risk because the risk is there. Nobody needs to tell you that if you walk on the road, the car will knock you down and you may die. So what you do not walk on the road. And so Article 80C says here that every Liberian citizen shall have the right to be registered in a constituency and to vote in public elections only in constituency where registered. Okay, now the CPB is saying that it's quoting the Article 80. I think section C. I don't know how to interpret this article stuff. But see, under Article 80 says, as a Liberian citizen, you have the right to register in a constituency where you live. Constituency here, in the sense, to break it down for us little people, is that big community where group of you living. Okay, this community where group of people living, and you people are qualified to vote. So the electoral term for it is called constituency. Okay, or place or community or big area that got certain number of people where you're all qualified to vote. That's your constituency. So you say every Liberian citizen, as long as you are a Liberian citizen, bona fide Liberian citizen, you have that right to be registered in that particular area. Now, it's very simple. If I live in my house, I can move from there, I go eat in John Brown house way on the other side. Okay, and John Brown can't come from a house and can't eat to my house. John Brown can't come from a house, he can't take by my house. So where you live, let me put it the other way. They say they play guitar good, then I play go and eat. You expect to tie the good right here and move from there, and they go and leave from here and go away in Dubai. No, you tie the good in Montreal, then I play the go and eat. The go and not go away to Sano to go eat. So if you live in a particular locale, and that particular locale is called your constituency, that's where you have the right to register, and then you have the right to vote there in every public elections. Okay, that's what Article 80C is saying, and that's why the CPP is stressing here. Okay, and then it says here further. Let me find it. Like I said, I'm reading from my phone, so it's very hard to find the prints, and I don't even know where I start, so I got to look for it. Now, it says here, all Liberians or every Liberian shall have the right to be registered in a constituency and to vote in public elections only in the constituency where he or she was registered. So you can register on the Oro, the registration is going on now. You register on the Oro, then time to vote, you take your voting card, you go you go vote in Grand Bassel. It's wrong. Under Article 80C. If you register in Soniwe, you can go to vote into a community. If you register in Bon County, you can go to vote in Sano County on the voting day. They play register. In fact, also let me just put it this way: like Monrovia that has so many constituencies. If you register on the Oro, you will not move from there. You say, "Oh yeah, that is in Monrovia, man." So time for voting. I'm going to sleep with my girlfriend play. I'll just stay there on in Douala and vote because I see Monrovia. No, it's wrong. You register in Oro, you go sleep to your girlfriend play in Douala during the night before the election. Take bus and come to Oro and vote there. That's what the Constitution say. If you do otherwise, you are breaking the law. Okay? And let's go further. Then Article D. Because we're looking at C, D, and E under Article 80. D says, of the same article, that is Article 80 says, a constituency shall have an approximately equal population of 20,000 or such number of citizens as the legislature shall prescribe in keeping with population growth and movements as reviewed by a national census, provided that the total number of electoral constituencies in the republic shall not exceed 100. They were hard to explain a little bit, but we'll try our best. D, it says, every constituency or every constituency shall have approximately, that approximately for those of us who didn't go far or in school, it means almost. In that exact, in that like 1 + 1 = 2. So when you say approximately, it's almost, it look almost the same, but not the same, or it look almost equal. Like me and my brother, we're not too taller than him small, but we're not too equal. We're not the same height, and we can get the same body. See, I think he's much slimmer than me. Okay, and so you see, that's approximation. You guess it. You're not too exact. You're not too like 1 + 1 = 2. Simple, finish. No. So they say every constituency, okay, shall have approximately or almost the same amount of people. Okay, so if you get one constituency with 2,000 people, then the other one you get 1,999. Yeah, that approximation. Approximately, almost, yeah. But what is different? Like, yeah, one person different. Eh? Maybe while we're talking, say one baby will be born today. So the next voting time, that baby will be big man now. You can equal the number to 2,000. So here it says, Article 80D says, a constituency shall have an approximately equal population of 20,000 or such number of citizens as the legislature shall prescribe in keeping with the population growth and movement as reviewed by the National Census. So it says that you can't go have 500 people in New Town, then you say that constituency, then you come to Oro, where always packed, you get 20,000 or 40,000 people, then you compare 5,000 in New Town, and no, it has to be that. It should almost be the same, okay? And how do you determine that? According to the Constitution, you determine it by the census that will be done before the elections. Because when you do it, and you see, even when they did a census recently, the people they counted, some of them are died. Yeah, or 2 days ago, there was a tragic accident. Maybe people died, may their souls rest in perfect peace. Some of them registered. So it's a loss, it's a minus from the census result. So census results are not always exact. I don't know. I'm not a demographer, so I don't know much about that. But what I do know is that while you counting the people, somebody, the moment you finish counting John Brown house, maybe they have 5 person, you go to Peter Mary house. While you counting them, maybe somebody from the house you just coming from counting died. So at the same time, maybe somebody was born, but though that person is not yet of voting age, because the census is not only about voting, it's about knowing how many people that we have, so that we'll either prepare for them in the future. Okay, and then you will say, okay, the last time we were in Newcrutan, are 10,000 people there, and how many schools in Newcrutan now? No, we only get 1 or 2 elementary schools. No, so 10,000 people in one elementary school can't take all the children, because the people will be born in plenty children. Okay, so I think we got to increase it. So then, because you know, but if you do census, the people will be born, and then some people die. That's in Newcrutan. Group of people died there, I think 2 years ago. Okay, plenty people. So we don't know how many people have been born. Send those people. So you gotta do your census to know. And then the Constitution, Article 80D is saying that every constituency must have approximately the same number of people. Okay, and they use about 20,000 here, and then say or such number. Now, because it's not fixed at 20,000, but this is stipulated in the Constitution that it should be at least 20,000, but it's not fixed. They say the legislature, the lawmakers, if it was 20,000 last year, and then something happened, it became 18,000, and no way to make it up to 20,000, the lawmaker can say, okay, yeah, 20,000, 18,000, not bad, so we can make it that way. That's why they say here that a constituency shall have an approximately equal number or approximately equal population of 20,000 or such numbers of citizens, such number, and yes, and a reasonable number of citizens, and that will be determined by the lawmakers. Yeah, and that can also be determined by how many people move. Like we understand somewhere in the southeast, there are a lot of people who go in there to go mine gold and diamond and other things. So you'll find out that the movement of people can affect the population growth. People go in there to go mine, and no people that somebody going to settle. Then if they used to have 100 people, all of a sudden in 2 months time, you get 1,000 people coming because they're coming to work, they're coming to mine gold, and that population increase. But then ask yourself, what happened? Where are the people coming from? Some of the people, they come from Grand Bassel. And when they were there, probably they were like 100 people in Grand Bassa, then 20 of them move to, I don't know where the money now go, somewhere in Sanu or Grand Chile or where. Then the 20 people that move from Bassa, they go to actually normal in Grand Chile, where the money they go. What happens there? Their population increase, and the population in Picana decrease from 20. So if they have 100 people there before, it will be 80. And if they have 50 people on our side, it will be 70 now. So movements can also influence the population growth or population decrease. So and then Article E says immediately. This will immediately mean quick, fast. Let me put it like, no. Say immediately I saw the man. Or when I saw the man, I immediately left. Soon as I saw the man, I started running quick. So Article 80E say quick, or right away. Right away, or quick, or very fast. That is what they call immediately. Following the national census and before the next elections, the Elections Commission shall reapportion the constituencies in accordance with the new population figures, so that every constituency shall have as close to the same population as possible, provided, however, that a constituency must be solely within a county. There are plenty of laws in your one hard to explain. It says right away or right after the census. The way they finish counting the people in Liberia, so that when they call census, they count you in the house. You how many people we are 10. You count. They see you not just tell the people say we 10, then they say okay, they mark 10 and go. They will see your physically. The young people say who were born today. They say they count all of your count your. When you reach 10, they mark it 10. They say anybody more, you say no, okay, that already or 10, then they pass. So they say right after they finish doing that. Right after the government, because I responsibility of the government to do it. Okay, now while we were counting people recently in Liberia, you can remember. So right after they finish counting your, the law say, not nobody saying it. That all law say they say right after the or immediately. That means right after they finish counting all the people, and then before the next election, you see it, and they got through counting all the few days, and when is that? It's before the other election that come in. And you see it? So right after they finish counting the people, that is what we call census, and then before the next election, which is coming now, the Election Commission will reapportion the constituencies. Now, reapportion, portion, like they made a big hell about Rumour. Big hell about Rumour. After they finish beating it, then they put it in a big pen, the way it should be in the interior. They put in a big pen. Then they got to portion it. They got to apportion it, or let me say they got to divide it. So they call it small with that. When they call it all on that, then that means that big whole tumor that they come and call it small. They call it all a portion. They call it all a portion and divide it. Maybe they portion in the other pen for other people. Okay, that's what the women call a portion to divide. So they say the lawyer, and I say they, I'm talking about CPP who say CPP are only reading the law to the people. They say immediately, Article 80E, immediately or quickly or right after the counting of the people, and then before that counting of the people, it always comes before another election. We're gonna have election every 6 years. General and presidential elections every 6 years. And then in between we can have something called by-election, okay? Or special election. Like some of the people who are representatives and senators who got some more year to be there now in the other election, we're not electing him because they're already there. But it can happen that their time will finish before the next big election, how they call general election. So when that time finish within that 6 years time before we have the B election, when that time finish, we call that one there by election. Or if somebody die, it die quick while you're in office, then they got to replace that person because somebody got to be there to represent the people. They call it one special elections. So the census will do every 10 years, according to the law. So that census will always come before some kind of election, whether a presidential election or special election or by-election. So they say right after, I'm still struggling to explain the pile. They say right after the counting of the people, and then before the election that will come, after the finish counting the people, the next election, it can be general election, it can be by-election, it can be special election. But right after the counting of the people, and then before the next election, the election commission is supposed to, or is forced to reapportion, that is to redivide, to visit again. So say they counted us 10 years ago, just example, and then based on the number that were in Soniwe, they were able to gain that 20,000 people as provided by the law, so that they will have constituency. But then the other counting here, so anyway, now double, maybe they get 40,000, which is too big. So you can't just say, okay, the people of Soniwe say they see, no, that counting will show what happened. Or maybe some people say, okay, they Soniwe, every time ring, the water can count. So we're moving. So the 20,000, when they counted all the last time, the 20,000 that were there, some of them now move, some of them die. Then this straight now they go count all again in Soniwe, they found out we are only 5,000. Oh, so you will tell me that since Soniwe people were 20,000 in last counting, and because of that they get a constituency status, and this time when they go count them now, they become only 5,000. You think they will still consider them to be constituency? No, it will not be, because you got to reach that threshold. You got to reach that. Hey man, what I call threshold? That be what? You got to reach that number, which is 20,000 that the law say. You can be more than 20,000, no problem. But at least you should be around 20,000, approximately, that's what they say. Yeah? So that's why after the counting of the people, and then before that election that coming right after the counting of the people, the election commission is supposed to check all the places that were constituency before and find out whether that number stay the same or it not increase or it not decrease to the point where it cannot be constituency before. And then based on that, then the election commission now can start carrying on registration of people. And this is what the election commission is not doing right now. That's what makes the CPP to say, no, wait, listen, this is not proper. You know, they give you medicine, you go to medicine man give you the medicine. He say, but the medicine here, you can't touch liquor and touch the medicine will spoil. You think you will go drink liquor and then touch it? They say, do not touch it. Do not touch it. So what about you drinking it and touch our medicine? You know what happened? You spoil the whole medicine. You myself will die. I remember when I was a kid, I had this uncle who used to be very, very naughty. He used to punish me all the time. And he came from somewhere and he had some tablet. I don't know what kind of tablet was. I was very active, small boy. I still remember I was between maybe 6, 7, 8, I don't know. And my uncle brought the tablet. And then, I know, I just took one of the tablet, sorry. Then my uncle told my grandmother, he said, hey, your son coming down. The woman said, what happened? He said, the man swallowed the tablet. And the tablet, they say, when you take it, you can't eat oil. Do not even look at the pantry. My grandmother started crying. She said, I can't go in the hall. My grandmother put me inside the hall and she started crying for me. Because if she finished cooking earlier on, we finished eating. And I ordered food. Then I go take the tablet where you can't eat oil and take oil, you can't eat. So I still remember that fun. And every time I used to see that man, I would be scared of him. So you see, that's the truth talking here. It says, after counting the people, and then before that election that coming, right after you finish counting the people here, and the next election that coming, before you conduct that election, you're supposed to go back to all those places that are constituencies before and visit them and re-see and see whether they stay qualified or they not all populate or whatever. so that you'll be able to know from there, you'll get your clues, then you can start the voter registration. But the Election Commission is not doing that this time around. And that's why the CPP is calling their attention to. And to do that, you just got to go to the code, because the code get power or Election Commission. In that, no political party, you can't go to NEC and say, you can't pass the thing you're doing. No. You follow the thing, they are right. And like I said before, the NEC as an institution charged with the responsibility of conducting the elections in Liberia, they have their own timetable, and nobody can deny that. Sorry, they have that timetable. But in the same vein, and reasonably thinking, I would think that if there is some hurdle, some bottleneck, something, some law jam in a way of conducting this election free and fair, peacefully, and that the NEC is aware of, you can make some adjustments in that schedule that you have. That schedule is not even the whole about. The Bible says we should go and pray, go all the time, we should go to church, but some of us don't go there still. We can say, make an adjustment, say, oh, today my hair, and I'm going to church. Okay? Next time you go. So, in order to avoid all of the problems that will lie ahead, that will get big if we don't take precaution now, it's very reasonable, it's very sensible, and it's very, very timely that you arrest all of the problems that will lead to the big problem. Now, that's what the CPP is saying. And it's backed by the Constitution of Liberia. That's why we are reading this part. Okay? Now, then at the end of that, the CPP said, despite various public objections over the unconstitutional delays to conduct the census and concerns around the integrity of the results, the Liberian government insists that the census demanded by the Constitution has been conducted. And the government too, sometimes the government can do something. Yeah, not because we say you should do census, or not because the law, not we, but the law. Not because the law says you should do census, which in fact was not done on the time, or according to the time that is supposed to be done under the law. You can't just get it and say, yeah, say yourself we want to do it, we'll do it, any kind of way. And you'll see that people are still questioning the census. So, there's a lot of problems, to be frank. There's a lot of problems, but people not looking at it. And when certain group of people talk, they say, oh, because they are opposition, they're not in power. And like I said before, if anything happens, when bullets are flying, the bullet do know opposition, the bullet doesn't know ruling party. Nobody can be friends with the bullets. Nobody can be friends with the heart time, the accompanying sicknesses that come after war, and all these things. Nobody can be friendly with them. So the time trap, quoting former President Samuel Doe, time trap is not for rat alone, because the man who said this time trap, trap, the rat trap, we call it time trap. You said it with the intention of catching the rat. Maybe you said it in your house because the rats are always in your house. Say the rat and I come here, I'll catch them with a trap here. You said it. But don't worry, the snake is also looking for those rats that come in your house. The snake also hunting them to swallow them. Then you set a trap for the rats. Unluckily, the snake can't get inside the trap. And then you walk in, you set a snake there the rat there for the snake. Sorry, you set a trap there for the rat. And then the rat finish catching snake. And the snake died. Then you walk in, you come in, the snake in danger too, so the snake know you die. Then bam, the snake hit you. So you see what you've done to yourself? You are setting the trap for rat, but the rat now go catch the trap now go catch the snake, and the snake now for you. So in other words, if you're setting for somebody else is setting for you too. If you pull in the rope will pull the bush. So, I'm speaking too much in tongue or in parables. So, and it's all intended to make people to understand this thing, because there are no clear terms other than this that we can explain this thing, and that people will understand. This is simple. Next, you got your timetable. You set this time from so time to so time. There is something we call force majeure, and it's a French word, but normally we English people say force majeure. It's not force majeure, it's force majeure. Okay, which means major force. Interpreting in the English way, major force, something that you do not have control over. Like those of us in the maritime industry, I got my background in journalism and maritime in the shipping industry. So we that deal with ships and other things. For instance, if your ship is supposed to leave China to go to Japan, loaded, and the people in Japan and in shipping were very conscious of time. Shipping is one of the industries in the world that is conscious with time, because if my ship, you hire my ship is supposed to be at the port at 10 o'clock in the morning to start loading. Say I'm supposed to load salt or oil or something for you, and my ship is there 10 o'clock according to the document, the contract. My ship is there 10 o'clock and your product is not ready. Yeah, I'll keep my ship there as long as I can. But you will pay something called demurrage. You will pay me for my ship being there, being delayed. Okay, the same way, if I am supposed to lift your coal, your oil, or your salt or something, by the way, the salt that you eat in your house in a spoon there, that salt can in bulk. It can, that big ship can bring it, and I in that small plastic bag coming to you. So if I'm supposed to lift your salt, your coal or whatever, and then the time is 10 o'clock, and your product or your item is ready and my ship is not there, you will also charge me. So in shipping, we are very time conscious. But then if my ship is leaving with your item to go to Japan, and we got something in shipping, like I said, we are very conscious of time. So the ships will leave your port by 10 o'clock, start loading, maybe depending on the quantity of load, I'm supposed to leave from there 12 o'clock. So we do the calculation from this ship, we got to see distance. We know how much distance I'll cover from here, from China to Japan, or at a particular port in Japan. So say it's going to be 3 hours after loading completed. Then I start sailing 3 hours from your port to the other port to deliver, because the man at that port is waiting for his salt as soon as at exactly 3 o'clock. But then in the process, then something happened, tsunami happened, and I cannot go. My ship cannot go. We try to avoid danger. So that is what we call force majeure. But in English, we call it force majeure. So, and the Election Commission should consider some of these things as force majeure, especially the constitutional parts. Because this, if you consider it as force majeure, you can make adjustment to avoid the problems. So, like I was saying about the ship. So if I say, okay, since I'm supposed to be at this port 3 o'clock, after loading the salt, I'm supposed to be at this port, the man is waiting for me 3 o'clock, and I see there's a tsunami, okay, and the water is turning everything outside. I think I will carry my ship there simply because no. I will say, well, I'll make adjustment in that schedule, and which will be understandable, because both customers, the man who sending the salt to Peter, he wants his salt to spoil, and Peter, finish paying for the salt, he want to lose. So we all understand. It's the same with the electoral process. Yeah, we all have long for this election. We've gone through the census. Everything is finished. So if we are proceeding on a wrong footing, knowing that when we continue to go, we'll face problems in the future, why do we force it? We can make adjustment. Nobody will grab neck and tie rope on that neck and say, okay, send your staff on March 12th, March 20 with the registration, you got to start, or else we'll go jail or no. When everybody clearly see the danger ahead, people will understand. You can make adjustments in your schedule to avoid the problem in the future. But to the point where you people got to sit down and they drag you to court, well, I think it's beyond my understanding. And I hope the CPP is calling on the Supreme Court to do. I hope the judges, your honors, you people will see reason to avoid greater problem. Because I know if you people just let it go, you will be the same ones spending sleepless nights as judges in our Supreme Court to hear electoral complaints. And yes, you get paid for what you do, but I don't think you want to burden yourself simply because you get paid. Oh, listen, there is something called work smart. Work smart. Reduce your the effort on you. Reduce the load on you. If you work smart, you reduce the load. Because not because you have to work so you're passing around when you see one truck, you lift a truck, you pull on your head, you carry it, or you see one taxi, you grab it, you put on your head because you have to work. No. Know what to do and when to do what to do. Work smart. Reduce the workload on you. So NEC and the and the Supreme Court see this case. You people are lawyers. Look at the legal ramifications. If the CPP is making sense as stipulated under Article 80 C, D, and E, look at it. It's simple. And say, no, NEC, don't go there. Relax. Cut down the time. Do this thing. Do due diligence, meaning check every little details, make sure that everything the people are asking for as spelled out under the law is in place, every little detail is in place before you can proceed. And that will lessen the burden for everybody, for you, NEC, for you, the judges, and you will prevent the opposition from loading you with a lot of complaints. It's very simple. I remember when I was in college a few years ago, we had this Indian guy who was teaching us, and the guy academically he's lazy, he will make you lazy. That's what he said, no, make your life simple. The guy will present all the PowerPoint, and then at the end he said, make your life simple. And how do you do that? He said, look, I gave you this PowerPoint instead of you going through that whole big book, because at certain time you have these big volumes of books and maritime law and sea law of the sea, and all the other big people. You open it while you're trying to read them. When you look on the table, another pile of book. Like I said, look, make your life simple. Don't go in all that book. I finished picking all the me points. I give it to you. So you judges, the law has given you the me points. The law said this is not supposed to be this way and this is supposed to be like this. So follow it. Make your life simple. And then you make it simple for all of us. Then we don't have to go through all the hula baloo. Too much on that one. We'll be proceeding. Sorry if you hear me coughing. I'm not really coughing. It's just I got cool and we transitioning from the winter to the spring now, so the weather is getting crazy. In the morning, cool. In the afternoon, a little bit warm, and then all of a sudden cool and stuff like that. So every 10% here you see blowing a no fin. And that's why we sign up for, to live in a cool place. So before we transition to our next topic, I would just like to put up this flyer so that you will see it's an event that is going to happen. I want you to see so that you can be aware of what is going to be happening. It's not a bad event though, so don't start getting worried. It's something good that probably you let to be a part of, and we invite you, we encourage you to be a part of it. We want you to come and spend the time with us. I hope I get the right one. I hope I got the right flyer. Okay. The flyer is here on your poster. Mr. Alexander B. Cummings, a standard bearer of the CPP, is visiting the Scandinavia, or let's put it this way, the Nordic countries. The Nordic countries are Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Finland, and Iceland, in no specific order. You can start with Norway, you can start with Sweden, but there are 5 countries in the north. So they are Nordic countries. And then we got 3 countries that make up the Scandinavia. Okay, then we got West Africa, okay, and we got ECOWAS. So all of the 16, 17 countries in West Africa make up ECOWAS. Then in that ECOWAS, we also get Monoreal Union, which is 3 countries, Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Guinea. So here we got 5 countries in the north, we call it the Nordic countries, and then we have 3 countries that make up the Scandinavia within the Nordic countries. And the Scandinavia countries are Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. we all close together. We stuck together. At some point, you to Sweden, one foot in Sweden, one foot in Norway, Canada. That's how we are. But Mr. Cummings is coming here just less than a month. He's going to be on the 14th of April, and he will be spending that weekend with us. He's going to address Liberians. He's going to answer questions from Liberians, like he's been doing all over the place. He was in Germany with us last year, in Europe, and also he's going to be here this year in April. That's April 14th to the 16th. So if you have the opportunity, you can come and spend that time with us. You don't have to be ANC member to come, no. You can come from the cities. And when we were in Germany last July, one of the interesting part of the program was when we had a lot of citizens who had come to bless the occasion. Some of them came with different mindset, or to ask the difficult questions. And Mr. Cummings answered all of their questions. And at the end of the day, we had a football match, ANC against CDC, and it was fun. And I think they did well. They really have fun. And even getting, I got email from one of them that he may be coming to Stockholm. And he's still Silesians. He's not changing, but he just loves to be in the gathering with Mr. Cummings. And so we're welcoming you to come if you have the opportunity. Food will be free, free entry. So you don't need money to come inside the program hall. So if you have your little $1,000, you can book your hotel, and the other one, the only thing that will be sold is drinks. Drinks will be sold, but food and the entrance is free, absolutely free. You can walk out and come in as many times as you can. You can take in as many people as you want to bring. You can bring so many people because you're not paying a dime to come in, okay? And you're not buying food to eat. So everything will be free. Yeah, Chadera Brand Chile is asking if anything is going on with Monroe Union. Yeah, Monroe Union still exists. They still exist. I think they have security pact. That's one of the things I know that is happening good for them. But let me just conclude on it, Mr. Commission, then I'll come to address your concern, Madam Chile. So Mr. Cummings will be in Sweden on the 14th, Stockholm to be specific, on the 14th of April. And today is the 24th of March. So we got very short time to enter April. So we're talking about pretty close to 3 weeks and a few days. So in fact, 3 weeks. Yeah, exactly 3 weeks. So start saving your little things and make sure you come. Let's have fun. It's all about fun. At the end of the day, we're all Liberians. Nobody comes from outer space. We are all Liberians. Okay, so we encourage you to come to Stockholm in Sweden, and let's have fun. Okay, Madam Chirople, your question is if anything is still going on with Emmanuel. Yes, I think one of the things that is going to stay good for them is that they are cooperating security-wise. So that is like, I think as part of that agreement, Liberia cannot sponsor any group to go for a war in Guinea. Guinea cannot do the same, Sierra Leone cannot do the same. Like it happened during the war time. So I think that one of the areas where they stay cooperating. And of course, the other one I know that they stay cooperating in is travel. You can come from Sierra Leone, and then Liberia people say, no, don't come to our border because you come from Sierra Leone. So we got a free movement. Not totally, not that you can just take your backpack and put on your bike, get over the border. No, you got to present all your documents, that's normal security routine, So I think they stay cooperating. Something is still happening. They're still together. Okay, let's say welcome to Merula Mo and all of you who have been with us, or Mary Masakwe and the rest of you guys. Thanks for sticking with us. So let's go to our next topic. This one is just that I'm just going to discuss make my own fun and enjoy myself to carry my time. By the way, I have like 10 more minutes to be around here. So Mr. Henry Costa, the talk show host, the Laomo boy, as I call him. He's my boy. I used to support him. I was a founding member of the COP Europe, but I had to just quit. But he stayed on Liberian, and he stayed part of us. I admire him. He's eloquent. I admire him. But Mr. Costa is in the news again. A few days ago, we got rumors that he has been earmarked to be the vice presidential running mate, or to be the running mate to GMB, that's former VP Chusa Numa Boakai. But this is rumors, okay? Because, and the rumor goes as far as saying that there was a meeting held with some people who are connected to Mr. Costa, and those people are trying to, or are willing, not trying, they are willing, they have it, they're willing to pull out huge sum of money in the tune of 30 million US dollars. That's a lot of money for the sole purpose of sponsoring the GMB campaign in the 2023 elections. And so it seems as though, according to the rumor, GMB fell for that, because GMB was initially eyeing the 3 million. Hey God, at least if I can get 3 million, my election will be good. Then all of a sudden, a group of people say, okay, we'll throw 30 millions in your lap, so you got excess of 27 million. That's almost 150% increment. And so it seems that GMB fell for that. And St. Costa is the broker for that deal. And they say nothing for nothing. You scratch my back, I scratch your back. Nothing for nothing. So then Costa said, well, probably you can get the money. I was not there. I'm just paraphrasing. And this is rumor. And the reason why I will dwell on this rumor, I will tell you. Why I will dwell on this rumor. And I will even add my own there. D12 made us and say, anything here about me, believe it. If you like it, you can add your own there. So I like it. But they say, hey, make it talk. But I'll try my best. But I'll try my best. So it seems as though GMB fell for that. I mean, who would not? Anybody? Okay. You were looking for 3 million, then somebody said, I'll give you 30 million. Even if I can fly, I will fly. So, St. Costa is a broker for that deal, alleged broker of the deal. Now, I'm dwelling, professionally, a journalist is not supposed to dwell on rumors, hearsay, but sometimes you do that intentionally to pull all the fact, to trick all the fact out. So, like I was saying, Costa had to lay his demands on the table. Say, Papi, you're looking for 3 million for Yelly Maya, and the post they get 30. So you get plenty. You can do what you want to do with the 3 million, then you will say have plenty left. That's why you say make it talk all. So what you say now, Papi? But before they can work, I gotta be the vice president. Oh, Papi say, but wait now, that one not hurting. Hey, what are you talking so? How long you're going to take me to get 3 million? Then you can't go give me 30 million and add it more. Vice president, not anything. So I will agree. And in fact, my son, that rumor, but I just dwell on it. Then when you look on the other side, there are people who have been working hard behind the line or behind the curtain. Our sister Nyomli Kanga, who have been there all the time. She hold the papier, they went away, began to go celebrate her birthday. She put the papier here, or she and the papier holding her all like this. Oh, and then some video I listened to her somewhere. She said, well, if they ask me to be vice president, I'm willing to be. No, nominating yourself. Then in Benona, who everybody was saying, oh, but the Pape and Benona, they're friendly. So maybe it will be Benona. Then just before the rumor of Costa could come up, Benona were on Costa show. And he said at their convention, they have decided that they want young people to take over. Oh, so I was thinking when they talk about they want young people to take over, I was thinking that JMB was in agreement that they will put some young person in his place. Because of course the Unity Party is now bankrupt with young people. So I said, okay, we want to see that young person. But not knowing they were talking about young person who would take over after GMB in their own plan. They've been making a plan already. But it's not bad to make a plan though, because you got to plan, you got to have a blueprint. Even to build a house, you got to have a plan. Or else you can't just go start laying blocks all over the place. So the plan is that, yeah, GMB will be accompanied by a young person to the ballot box. And that young person might eventually, I'm using the word eventually very selectively, I cleverly coined that word, eventually. I'm using it selectively, as selected I want to use. So there's one person who accompanied GMB as running mate will eventually become the president. And don't ask me why I selected the word eventually. It's just my choice of word, in this case. And so, so when Benona Jure made that pronouncement, it didn't take long. Within a course of 72 hours, the rumor surfaced that Costa has been earmarked by former VP Joe Boakai. But it seems that there is something that is not just right. But before we go to that thing that is not right, I'll play you one video. And I love to play the video for record's sake. I love this video. Oh, how I love it. And this is why this social media thing we're doing is very important, because it keeps all of our, this time we're not keeping paper to say rat will eat it or roaches will eat it. I remember my uncle used to spread all his paper there, looking there, the rat now pee on it, it looking brown, you can't read the writing, somebody writing and fail. But this time now, only one thing you can do, you can delete your work. But even if you delete it, the computer illiterates can still go and the computer literates can still go and find it. People know computer. You can't delete anything on the internet. I mean, they want the free education for you. Let me tell you, you cannot, nothing you write on the internet can be deleted. Nothing. Maybe you post on it, so let me delete it. Yeah. You only you cover it like that so that people will not see or you will not see it at the meantime. But it can be fun. There is no downside anywhere in the world that when we deleting, we package your hand, when you sweep your hole, you take all the day, you can go throw in a dumper. No, there is no downside in the world for anything that goes on the internet or on social media or on the computer. No, when you delete anything, you just cover it. You cover your face, so all people not looking at, but your face is still there. So I want to play the video, then I will go to what I wanted to say.
Not going to change. Joe Boakai has no fresh ideas. Joe Boakai is not able to run this country. He's a dead man walking. He's a dead man walking, and I cannot support a dead man walking.
That was 2017 elections. Joe Boakai is unable to run this country. That's Costa's word. And there's a second part of this video where he called him a travelist. The only thing he knows is travelism, and he lays on travelism and blah blah blah. But if Paul can change to, or Saul can change to Paul, anything can happen. And so after this rumor surfaced, two things have been happening that I want to call your attention to. The first one is that there is a silence in the Unity Party camp about this whole thing. Everybody is kind of mute. The people who we would have talked, anybody would have thought that they will come out to say something. The party chairman, the reverend, or GMB himself, or any of the main supporters, none of them saying something. And I'll tell you, the Unity Party has reached a stage where it is diluted. I told you everything I will say here is my own view, is my own analysis. And the topic I'm discussing about Costa allegedly being picked as VP to Joe Boakai is a rumor. And this rumor is what we all are living on. And let me tell you, it's not a crime to live on rumor. In the absence of the fact, if somebody look at me and say my name Mary, Amel, they say my name Mary to the public, and the public is looking at me, they know I'm man, but somebody say my name Mary, then I don't come to say no, my name not Mary, my name Linford. So the public will know me as Mary. So would I blame the public? No, because in the absence of the truth, what the public knows is what the public will judge me by. There is something called court of public opinion. Once a thing gets in the public, you got no more control over it. But you can correct the situation. So if somebody calls me Mary, it's my duty to come. I know my own name. I'll come and say, no, my name is Linford. My name is not Mary. So then the fact comes from my mouth. And so the public will not have any lies to dwell on. So, and in Liberia, we are very good to dwell on lies. Lies can fly faster than any truth in Liberia. We got something called ELDC. We used to have ELBC and ELDC. So, like I was saying, there has been silence on this particular topic from the Unity Party camp. And moreover, Team JNB. And the reason why the silence caught my attention or has been playing on my mind is that several key people were involved in this meeting that was allegedly held in Ghana with JNB and these would-be sponsors of his election. They were key people. Costa was not present there, but there were key people like Telia Ure. And who is Telia Ure? Telia Ure is kind of very close to Costa. If you remember when Costa escaped because he had problem with the government, it was Telia Ure who did everything possible to fly him out of Sierra Leone to the US. Costa himself sat on his show and explained his story. And they are very close. They are all members of the ALP. But one question that people say asking is, the ALP, the whole dominant group in the ALP have been the one steering the activities of the Unity Party under Joe Boakai. Benona Ure, Costa will tell Joe Boakai and the UP or leave the CPP and they will leave. Costa will detail the course. Costa will take Joe Boakai to America, take him to the donor shop, take him to the barber shop, take him to the basement where they play pool, and they pour all the liquor bottle around him. So the ALP folks have been very instrumental. Then Telia Ure will sit at a meeting, allegedly sit at a meeting with sponsors of the Joe Boakai campaign who have pledged 30 million according to information, which is all rumors. I'm saying rumor because the fact had not come from any of them. And we all, in the absence of the fact, we all have the right to play inside the rumor. Yeah? A general ring coming, poto come down, we all play in the poto until the fact can come out. And I said, people will always say, oh, you know, as a journalist, you don't dwell on rumors. No, sometimes you dwell on rumors and you play with that rumor so that the rumor will help to bring out the fact. So there have been silence in the camp. Telia Ure is from the Liberty Party, but she is Team JNB head. And she was at this, according to the rumors that we all know, she was allegedly participating in this meeting that was held in Ghana, where the $30 million was promised. Yeah? And where the rumor about Costa being picked as vice running mate came from. So, and if this was lie, why has Telia Ure as Team JNB head been so silent? We have not heard anything from her. Maybe she said something, but I didn't hear it. If anybody heard anything, you can write it. You can say, yes, this is what she said. she's been silent. JMB himself have been silent. The party chairman, Unity Party chairman, has been silent. And the game is left with the public to play. Or the judgment has been left to the public to conclude. So then, why can we play in the rumor? So I can give my own analysis of the rumors. And so, fast forward. Nobody knows yet whether this is lie. Nobody knows whether it's true. But the silence, and we always say silence means what? Consent. If something happened, I'll accuse of something and they ask me, "My man, you did it, I can't talk. You won't do it, I can't talk." I just say now. And I'm hearing the question, and I want to answer yes or no, but I can't talk. So my silence means my consent. That means I agree. That means it's true. What they're saying, whatever they're saying. So the public has been left as the judge or the jury and the decision maker. So we can make our own decision. We can play in this rumor. We can twist it upside down. We can turn it to suit our own occasion. And then I see some of the small supporters of the Unity Party. When you post about it, then they kind of make noise. The P men, the JMB men are talking. The party chairman not talking. The team JMB leader not talking. Then that you from way back, like when they the shark there, when they moving, you babble, you go stand one place. Who are you to talk? So when they you post something that they can't try, look at and laugh. You even know what's going on. You get one of the how you call them, the praise singers. So this silence is concerning, but besides the silence, there are two things. Again, I talk about the silence, which is concerning, and this silence will make the public to evaluate the whole incident in a kind of way. They can give their public opinion. You can't blame them, because in the absence of the fact, people are prone to live by hearsay, and they can frame it any way to suit their occasion. So right now, I can say anything. Nobody can hold me responsible as long as I use the word alleged. Meaning that I don't have the facts. But I can give my opinion on it. It's in the public. It's no more private. We've seen pictures. And this is a dead man that also be walking. And this is not my word. And this is a man who is unable to govern this, to lead this country. That's the same Costa's word. So if Costa is going to become vice president, so is he imposing a dead man on us, Liberians? Is he bringing a dead man to us, a dead man that is unable to govern the country? That's another debate for another time. That's another topic. We're getting there little by little. We're building a bridge. One day we're going to cross the river. Then the next thing that is happening is that I mentioned earlier on that the whole Unity Party is being manipulated in my own word. And I told you everything I will say here is nobody can change it because the facts are not there. Okay? So the United Party have been manipulating the whole JMB thing here. I mean, not the United Party, but the ALP. The ALP member is a team GMB leader. The ALP member has been reportedly earmarked as the vice president. The ALP leader is the one to come and make an announcement that GMB will need a young person to be what? Vice running mate. Oh, so but then my question is, where are the Unity Party? Our good friend in the Unity Party, where are they? How come? So ALP, even though you can collaborate, but I think when parties collaborate, every party has a specific function, or is it the function of the ALP in that collaboration that they can speak, they can decide for Unity Party. Okay, we're getting there. We're going to know the truth one day. But another thing again that is very catchy, that is mind-boggling, is some Costa supporters are saying, Unity Party, JMB, if you let Costa go, if you hold that Costa 10, that Costa had done more for you. That Costa there, that Costa had done for you like anything else. So do not leave that Costa. Then so United Party people say no. They think, yeah, we agree. We've been here all the time. Yeah. I mean, we should have decided. Yeah. Even though the Phoebe can pick a good choice, but we agree. So is this rumor has sparked debates. Some people say that Costa is untouchable. And I know where GMB is coming from. GMB is afraid because this boy could destroy him in minutes, destroy his dreams. I mean, I'm not talking about literally destroy him like life or whatever, but his political dream. Remember 2017, he called him a dead man walking, and people who listen to Costa show and follow him, if he calls a GMB a dead man walking, even if GMB has supporters among them, they will say, oh no, but our leaders, as they call him, our leaders say the men are dead men walking. So what wasting our time? So in my view, and I'm not correct or I'm not wrong either, but in my view, I think that statement was too strong, and that statement may have caused the old man some votes in 2017. So the old man still knows that this boy is powerful, his voice got power, and if I don't play by his rules, he might get at me again. And this old man is desperate. He really wants to be president. Let it go down in history. It may not be for the glamour, the pageantries, and the money associated with the presidency, but just the woman want to make him that our once Joseph Newman Boakai, our LPNC managing director, our LPRC managing director, our the agriculture ministry, our working government for so long, they are becoming vice president, but at least I became president. That the woman is fighting for. I've been seeing a whole thing long time. So the old man will do absolutely everything possible to whoever can promote him. He will do everything possible to please them. So he will say, but of course I get loud more, he can talk. So anything the boss say, what I will do now, I will just agree. You're leaving, let him be. So you see, that is going on behind the scene. So United Party people are vehemently against this. But at the same time, it is the prerogative of the presidential candidate to choose who he wants. But making a choice that does not go down well with the party members can also make you lose members. So what I'm telling you, in the coming days, trust me, and quote me, save this video. In the coming days, you'll see some movements within the Unity Party. People are going to drop out. Trust me, I am telling you. I got insiders there. I got friends there. I supported GMB in the past election. I got friends. Some of them color ties with me, but some are still hanging on. I got friends there. There will be some movement. Somebody will move from somewhere to somewhere in the Unity Party. Then the other supporters of Costa, who if Costa goes to ANC today, they will still follow him. When he go to CDC, they will follow him. They are saying, GMB, that your manna finish falling from having a council. If you leave the Costa here, you never even go anywhere. So hold the Costa thing. So whatever Costa told you years back, sorry, man. Sorry, Peter P. The Jolobos drink it so you can get well. So it all spells down to what? Desperation. If I'm desperate to do something, I will go any length, any breadth, any height, any depth, just to get it. So that's why I'm splitting with the papier. And like I said, in the next couple of days, weeks, months, leading to the election, there will be some movement in the Unity Party. Well, it depends who's going to do what. But I can show you there is some real struggle, some real argument behind the scene, behind the closet about the rumor that we are hearing. But they're going to fix it. That's a problem. The only reason why we're talking some is because we are in a political season, and everything about the political game must concern us some kind of way to discuss. But it was good that you were with us. Just before I leave you, let me again bring back this banner about Mr. Cummings' visit to Stockholm, so that we can invite you officially. You can come there and spend a week with the weekend. It's not a whole week, but a weekend. So plan your deals within that weekend. From the 14th of, I'm hearing that he may come the 13th, which will be on Thursday, because he wants to come and settle down. Then Friday will be the meet and greet. And that's one of the best part of the visit I always enjoy is the meet and greet, because during the meet and greet, he's always there. He said that one-on-one, like when we're in Germany, we're all one-on-one, and we're eating together, talking together, asking questions and having fun and like that. So, but the official date here is the 14th of April to the 16th. So come to Sweden, Stockholm. Food is free entry. The only thing you buy is your drinks. But the thing here is that how much drink can one man drink so much that you will spend too much money. So practically we can say the program is just free of charge. Everything is easy. Just buy your ticket. If you're driving from anywhere in Europe, you just drive and come. Like I'm driving from Norway, it takes me some 7-8 hours, and then I'm in Stockholm. So you're welcome. We hope to see you. Bam. Okay, so that's it. And let me say thank you for watching. For those of you who joined us, we're sorry that we could not have all of our panelists here tonight. Hopefully on Tuesday we're going to have some of us. Like I said, this is campaign registration time for elections. Some of our colleagues have traveled to go register in Liberia for voting, and don't ask me if I'm going. I will go. And my country is not yet registering because I don't want to go voting more. I want to go vote in my village. That's seeing the time for voting. I'll be there, chicken boiling, pan one for me. I can't drink, so I don't think I will drink. But the pan one will be for me in the meantime. And the chicken boiling. Then the music will be playing and the people will be dancing. Then I'll register. So don't ask me if I'll go. And so thanks for watching. Be here on Tuesday. We will be here. And the ladies' programs, they stay working out some technical details, to study things that easy. It's a lot of things they need to know, they need to do, they need to be able to get their hands on. So, they're doing some intensive training and working in the background. So they'll be coming to you when they set, and then they can pick up from there. But meanwhile, Tuesday we're going to be here, and then next Friday we're going to be here. My name is Linford Goa, and it's been a pleasure having you as we pass the evening or the afternoon together, depending on where you are. So we take you home with a message from Mr. Cummings, and that will be followed by our closing music. And so we hope that those of you who will be willing, you can come to Stockholm, and let's do whatever we have to do together.
There are 5 priorities we have, and we call that the what. And then there are 5 things we call the how we'll do it. And those priorities are as follows. Our first priority is infrastructure. Simply put, it's electricity, it's roads, it's water, and it's internet and cell phone connectivity across Liberia. We have to invest in infrastructure. That is the top priority. That's the basis on which we can and will do everything else. The second priority for us is job creation. There are too many unemployed, underemployed, and unemployable Liberians. The unemployment rate is over 85%. And therefore, job creation is our next priority, creating jobs for the Liberian people. So after job creation, our next priority is agriculture. We are a country, after 170 years, that do not feed ourselves. Last year alone, we imported over 160 million United States dollars in rice import, and total food imports was over $280 million. These are things we can do for ourselves. We should be producing rice to feed ourselves, and my commitment is that by the end of my first term in office, we will be self-sufficient in rice production. And within education, we're focused on vocational training, teachers training, and adult education. But we have to educate our young people because, again, that's how we can help them create jobs. That's how we can train farmers. And so these things are all linked together. And our final priority in terms of the what's is health. Because you can have good infrastructure, you can have a good job, you can feed yourself, you can have great education, but if you don't have your health, it doesn't matter. And so health is our fifth priority, and there we're focused on primary health care and preventive health care. So those are the what's we'll do for our people, for the Liberian people. How are we going to do these things? The first how is we want to engage Liberians differently in the transformation of our country. We call this hearts and minds. How do we get all Liberians to participate in the changes that are required? We're going to use arts and music and culture and reconciliation and religion. All of these things, we will be deliberate in using these things to engage us as a people in this transformation process. And so we're doing some work on how we can make those things happen. The next how is that we're going to find the money. We have to find the resources, the money, to do all of the what's I mentioned earlier. And the way we'll find the money is first, we'll go after waste in government. You know, we spend a lot of money on things that we don't need, or we pay too much for things that we do need. So for example, I believe the vehicles we buy for our government officials, we spend too much money on that. We should reduce the number of vehicles, and we should buy less expensive vehicles for our government officials. We need to reduce how much they make so we can pay teachers and civil servants and police officers and the military officers and healthcare workers, people who actually do the work. We need to pay them more money and reduce the gap between those at the top and those who actually do the work. The other way we'll find the money is going after this thing called corruption. You know, corruption has been the bane of our country. Is the primary reason why we are as underdeveloped as we are today. And we will aggressively go after corruption. The first thing we'll do is we will appoint a corruption czar, a minister in charge of corruption in the presidency that will coordinate all of the agencies that are meant to find corrupt officials. Secondly thing we'll do is we'll make sure we are giving the resources, the money, the right people, the right logistics to the anti-corruption agencies, the LACC, Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, the General Accounting Office, the Public Procurement and Concessions Commission. We will make sure they got the right resources to go after corrupt officials. After that, when we find people who are corrupt, we will prosecute them, we will put them in jail, and we'll seize their assets. It will not be good enough for you just to resign. Okay. So those are the things we will do to really go after corruption. I have committed that I will not take a salary. The salary that is paid the president, I will allocate it towards helping to fight corruption. That's how important I think it is to us. And then the other way we'll find the money is we'll make sure we're getting full value, the full monies we're due from our natural resources. We'll look to exploit other natural resources so we can get the funds required to fund healthcare, to fund infrastructure, to create jobs, etc., etc. So finding the money is the second how. The next how is we want to create a government of inclusion. We want all sections of our country to be represented in the government. We want opposition political parties to be in government. Because we believe that having a government inclusion will help all of us make the right decisions. It will make sure that we're spreading the resources of our country across the entire country. And then the last two hows, one is growing the private sector. We will focus on growing the private sector so Liberians can primarily benefit from that growth. No longer should Liberian business people be spectators to our economy. And we want to actively support Liberianization and encourage and provide credit and other facilities to Liberian businesses so they can participate. And last but not least, we will use technology. We'll leverage technology to help us achieve our goals. So those are the what's and the how's. But let me end by leaving you again with these two universal truths. One is we cannot keep doing the same things, my people, and expect different results. We cannot keep electing the same people with the same experiences and expect Liberia to change. We need to elect and select different people to lead us, to serve us, to help us manage and run our country. And the other universal truth is the best predictor of future performance and future behavior is past performance and past behavior. And on those two counts, I believe I stand head and shoulders above the other candidates aspiring to lead our country.
When